at the Rock Hill Jubilee, October 5th and 6th.
This is a News 36 Sports Special presentation. Live from Charlotte Motor Speedway, it's Race Week 91 with News 36 Sports Director Jim Celania and former Winston Cup champion Benny Parsons. Tonight on Race Week 91, Jim Celania opens the NASCAR Notebook and brings you up to date on the events leading up to this race weekend. Plus, at home with Harry. Benny Parsons visits Harry Gant and learns how this NASCAR veteran is handling his recent wave of victories. And running in the shadow of Big Brother, Wil Hampton meets Kenny Wallace and Bobby Labonte, two Grand National drivers hoping to break into the big time to run against their brothers. It's all on Race Week 91.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Race Week 91. Jim Celania, along with Benny Parsons at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. The first of our three specials here on Channel 36, Cable 6. We'll have another one for you tomorrow night at 11:30 after the All-Pro Auto Parts 300, then Sunday live at 7 p.m. after the Mellow Yellow 500. And as always, with us, our race analyst and former Winston Cup champ, Benny Parsons. For 3 years, we've been out here on this beautiful October evening in Victory Lane. The checkers remain the same, and something else is hanging around the same, too.
That black number 3.
Yeah.
He was here in 1989, fighting Rusty Wallace for the championship. 1990 was Mark Martin he was fighting. This year it's the 5 car, Ricky Rudd. Earnhardt's fighting for the championship.
And we've talked to Earnhardt's truck driver, and he's going to leave the car here for next year to save him this trip. Might as well, huh? Okay, we're going to take a look at what's been happening the last couple of weeks. But first of all, we got a little piece of videotape for you to show you from today's action. And it was action in the sportsman race. This is why they have those barrels, Benny, filled with water on the inside of turn 4.
Well, the black 3 hits the left front tire, knocks the steering out, and goes straight in the wall. And thank goodness those barrels of water was there. Otherwise, he's going to have some serious injuries. Watch this as he comes down straight into that wall.
And you were one of the drivers, I guess, that pioneered this and let us know that let's put water there instead of concrete, huh?
Well, that's a lot softer than concrete, that's for sure.
It's soft water, I understand, too. Enough of that. Okay, let's, off the script, we should never do that. Let's get back with the script. And, you know, there's been a lot of action going on around Charlotte the past couple of weeks. And we're going to tell you all about it. The best way we can do that is to open our NASCAR Notebook. Way back on the 17th of September, Tuesday, hot lap money. DW going for the big bucks, $1,000.
Wow, man, $1,000 ain't worth. You know, that ain't chicken feed. When you own two teams, a Winston Cup and a Busch team, 1,000 here and 1,000 there, and pretty soon you're talking about big money.
You know, Humpy Wheeler likes his grass infield cut just right. Kenny Wallace and Joe Nemechek sprint down pit road, stay off that grass for 100. Wallace wins by a blade. A week later, the 24th, after another Harry Gant win, the racing world scratching its collective head about this 51-year-old phenom, Harry Gant. Like Harry says, 4 in a row, it ain't no thing.
Yeah, it ain't no big thing that we've done, and a lot of people won 8 and 9 races in a year here, 6 and 7, you know, and we hadn't done anything no more than anybody else done, but they played it up like we have, but we really hadn't.
The next day, Wednesday the 25th, it rained all day long. A chance for melancholy thoughts. Has Harry inspired the old-timers to make a comeback?
That will not happen.
Charlotte can wait for now. Time to head for North Wilkesboro. Let's hit the road. Where handsome Harry became hard luck Harry. The man in black steals the show. He caught a break because Harry lost his. And those hats might as well say 1991 Winston Cup champ. Earnhardt has a big lead. So let's load him up and head back to Charlotte. And this car might not look like it, but he's the favorite. Tuesday, October 1st, the sportsmen, the youngsters in the business, get a chance to practice in Charlotte. But the big news was made in level cross. The King announces his future plans and leaves no doubt.
And next November, that's the last time anybody will ever see me in a race car. Period. Any kind. Of course, I might go out and run a little bit, but
Wednesday, pole day. The winds came from the wrong direction. It was a total washout. The first since the 60s. Let's try it again tomorrow, y'all. Next day, let the sun shine over Charlotte. Ideal conditions. The track's still cool. Is it ready to give up a record lap? But it won't be for the King, who went out first. He'll start 39th in the field on Sunday. It looks like the Goodwrench car has already developed a push. Let's see, it's 8:30 a.m. Think I'll have another light beer. You know, I am trying to drop a few pounds. But coffee was the drink of the day. Mark Martin's Folgers Ford blistered the track for a new record. He'll sit on the pole for Sunday's race.
Yeah, we'd like to run 180, but that's a few years away, I think.
Yeah, a couple, yeah.
I thought that fella had a perfect physique.
Well, that's why.
I see that quite often.
That's why they call you Buffet Benny, I think, isn't it? All right. Okay, we got Mark Martin on the pole. We got Davey Allison dominating the last 3 races here. Which one of those guys is the favorite?
Wait a minute. They haven't proven to me they can beat Harry Gant yet. They beat him. Earnhardt beat him last Sunday, but only because his brakes failed. Harry Gant's going to be tough.
Yeah, but Davey Allison, you got to look at Davey Allison, and he knows how tough, how much work he has to come back and dominate here again.
But you never take those things for granted. You appreciate them when they happen, but they don't come around all the time. And it's not just as easy as driving into Charlotte and saying we're going to blow everybody away. We got a lot of hard work. There's a lot of tough competitors here, and we're going to try not to overlook anything.
Well, when you look at this year's season, it's so hard to believe that Davey Allison and Harry Gant and Ernie Irvan aren't in the thick of things in the point race. Let's take a look at it. There's only 2 men left in this points race for the $1 million, and Earnhardt's up quite a bit.
112 points. If Rudd don't gain some points here in Charlotte, I think it's over with.
Yeah, and Harry Gant is 364 points behind. That shows you how you have to be consistent. So Dale Earnhardt is right now in charge of things. There's the rest of the points. We talked to Dale Earnhardt about it and found out, do you like being up front with everybody else behind you?
Oh, yeah.
Chasing?
Last year we was chasing Mark, and it's a lot of pressure on you chasing, trying to catch up. And, you know, you can have a bad race and lose some points, but it doesn't work on you as bad if you're chasing and lose points. So, you know, I think we're in good shape. We got a good shot at winning, and there's 4 races left. It's not over by any chance. And, you know, the only way to have it locked up would be several hundred points ahead. So we're going to just race them from here on out and go at it as hard as we can.
As best we can remember, Dale was trailing coming in here last year, and he and Mark had a terrible Charlotte race.
Both had trouble. Mark blew an engine. Earnhardt, remember, was hit on pit road by Ernie Irvan. Irvan and Kawicki got together, and Earnhardt's car was hit on pit road.
And if Rudd would win the race, lead the most laps, and Earnhardt falls out early, Ricky could pick up around 100 points. So that's what has to happen, really, for Rudd to get back in this thing with just a few races left. We talked to the guy, a future superstar. What does he think his chances are?
If he makes mistakes, capitalize. You know, throughout the season, he's had probably one of his worst years. He hasn't run as well as he'd like to have run, and we haven't had the year that we're capable of either. So we haven't been able to capitalize on his off days. We've been able to gain some points, but not the numbers that we need to gain.
Now they are a 3-car, 5-car, 2-man race, and Charlotte could really decide the Winston Cup Championship. You know, when you look back in your career, I know you remember the wins, the great Winston Cup Championship. But you guys have a way of remembering the bad laps, the horrible laps, the laps from hell, if you will. What was yours?
13th lap in Rockingham, 1973. All I had to do was run about 400 laps. I'd win the Winston Cup Championship. On the 13th lap, I hit a car and ripped the right side completely off my car.
But you finished the race and won the championship.
Well, thank goodness I had a good crew. They put the right side back on the car, new rear housing, new suspension. I went back out and won the championship, but I thought it was over with.
If they hadn't done that, you think you'd be doing ESPN and sitting here next to me?
I'd probably be in Detroit working on taxi cabs.
Oh, well, that Winston Cup, I doubt that, but that Winston Cup Championship carries some clout. Throughout the show, we're going to talk to other drivers about their worst lap. Here's our first one, and we'll be right back.
Well, a lot of people probably think the worst lap I ever had was Bristol last year in the Busch race, because that lap, about halfway around it, I wound up head on into the concrete and the car tore all to pieces. But that's my one of my favorite laps, really. I know it sounds weird, but I survived. My worst lap was a practice lap up there in Watkins Glen this year. We were practicing in August for the race. I slid off the track, hit the wall, broke my shoulder blade, knocked myself out unconscious, and didn't know where I was for a couple of days. And that was the first time I'd ever broken anything, and it was kind of a scary feeling. Made me, after Bristol, I might have thought maybe you couldn't hurt me, and then after Watkins Glen, I knew you could. So that's probably the worst one.
coming up on Race Week 91. Now they're calling him Mr. September. But Harry Gant says despite his consecutive wins last month, he's a better carpenter than driver. Benny visits Harry Gant next on Race Week 91.
Race Week 91, brought to you by Kendall Motor Oil, Midas, Saturn, Roddenberry Pickles, and Kanawha Insurance.
These are the machines of the 90s.
Fuel injection, overhead cams, multi-valve.
Today's high-tech engines demand high-tech protection. Kendall Motor Oil is specifically designed to provide the ultimate protection against heat and wear under the most extreme conditions. Don't take a chance with your high-tech engine. Use Kendall Motor Oil, formulated to protect your high-tech engine. Kendall Motor Oil, pour in the protection. Kendall, available at these locations.
Midas is coming at you with values by the truckload, announcing the biggest news to come down the road in a long time. It's Midas-sized days, and right now you can find great values on our basic brake service, featuring quality high-tech non-asbestos pads or shoes guaranteed. That's right, brakes installed and guaranteed. Take advantage of our value and quality and these Midas-sized days before they quietly disappear. Nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
Perfect. Roddenberries. Pickles are for smiles.
They call it the pickle car. Steve Grissom's number 31 Roddenberries Racer. Catch it this weekend in the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 in Charlotte. Roddenberries Racing is for 300 miles of smiles.
Roddenberries. Peanut butter is for smiles.
Sometimes you greet the day with a smile. Sometimes it's a struggle just getting out of bed. But there's extra fry, kids to love.
Where are my books?
And any number of jobs to be done.
Mommy!
That's life. And we insure every step of it.
Thanks, Mom!
Kanawha, Life and Health Insurance.
In your memory, what's the worst lap you ever had? Like the lap from hell. Does one stick out in your mind?
Yeah, it was last week at Wilkesboro, and it lasted 400 laps.
That was your worst lap?
Yeah, all of them. One big all of them.
There's Elliott going to drive for junior next year. You know, we have got to talk about the phenom, Harry Gant. Every sport has someone like that, but he's got like a half a decade on Nolan Ryan.
Well, he's got a year and a half on me. He's a year and a half older than I am. I've been retired 3 years. He's still winning stock car races.
I guess this guy just goes home and gets in traction or in bed after a race, huh?
Well, Doug Stacker and I visited him in Taylorsville after Martinsville. We get there at 9:30 in the morning. He's already out there working, building a building. Let's go visit Harry in Taylorsville.
I never considered myself to be a great race car driver by no means, but I always figured myself to be a super good carpenter.
You know, on a 1 to 10 scale as a driver, he's probably a 10 because he's been winning a lot of races. On a carpenter, some of the stuff I've seen, he's probably a 5.
Well, if I were a carpenter and he were a lady, just wonder if he'd...
and you had a hammer.
Yeah, and I had a hammer. I wonder if he'd be willing to go steady.
Well, he must be a hell of a carpenter.
It's hard for me to believe that Harry Gant was running for Rookie of the Year 5 years after I won the Winston Cup Championship. Now, here I am retired. He's got a year on me, and he's the hottest name in auto racing. How does Harry stay so young? The secret is in his hometown of Taylorsville.
500 miles at Dover, it ain't nothing. 500 laps at Bristol, nothing. And just because you just sweat and get real wet with sweat out here working. And I don't take any day off, and period. You know, I'm here Monday morning early, where I'm doing, and it just has made it so much easier to drive that race car. It's unbelievable.
And what about retirement? On the heels of the King's announcement, does Harry see an end to his career in the near future?
I'm not going to drive a long time. I'm not going to drive till I'm 55 or nothing like that. I think I could win races, but there come a point in time that I've seen statements made by some drivers negative and some are plus there that take time to smell the roses. Some don't want to, you know, but I do.
Most successful drivers sell something. Dale Earnhardt sells Chevys. Harry sells steaks right here in Taylorsville. So as you can see, Harry is a man of many talents.
But is there anything Harry can't do?
I'm a good carpenter, and I never have considered myself being a great race car driver, but I don't cook steaks either.
All right, well, you can build my house, Harry, but you're not going to cook for me, okay? We'll be right back, Benny and I, from the Charlotte Motor Speedway live after this word from our
Just
sponsors.
ahead on Race Week 91, what did these two drivers have in common? Both run Grand National cars. Both hope to move into the Winston Cup circuit. And both have brothers who are already there. Talk about sibling rivalry. Next on Race Week 91.
Perfect.
Roddenberries. Pickles are for smiles.
They call it the pickle car. Steve Grissom's number 31 Roddenberries racer. Catch it this weekend in the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 in Charlotte. Roddenberries racing is for 300 miles of smiles.
Yeah.
Roddenberries. Syrups are for smiles.
These are the machines of the 90s.
Fuel injection, overhead cams, multi valve.
Today's high-tech engines demand high-tech protection. Kendall Motor Oil is specifically designed to provide the ultimate protection against heat and wear under the most extreme conditions. Don't take a chance with your high-tech engine. Use Kendall Motor Oil, formulated to protect your high-tech engine. Kendall Motor Oil, pour in the protection. Kendall, available at these locations.
Feeling good about the people who sold him his Saturn, Cutbank, Montana rancher Jim Bishop throws a barbecue.
It took more than 20 years to dream it. A lifetime of savings to build it. But it took the sweat of 15 loyal employees to make it happen. That's life, and we insure every step of it. Kanawha, life and health insurance.
The lap from hell. Well, I've made a lot of those. My record of worst is a lot better than my record of best, I can tell you that. The most dreaded lap I guess I ever made was at Dover a couple of years ago when the crew was trying to work on the car, and they said, whoa, and I thought they said go, and I took off and went just a little ways and the hood came up. And that was during the race on national TV, and I didn't feel real comfortable riding around there with my hood laid up against the windshield trying to see where I was going. So I've had a lot more of them, but that's the most recent one.
You guys have had a lot of fun out there. The worst thing happened was my bowling ball was on top of my car and I took off and on the expressway. We got a great matchup going for the Busch Grand National Championship. Kenny Wallace, Bobby Labonte, 7 points apart. Our Wil Hampton had a chance to talk with these guys who just happen to be little brothers of Winston Cup champs.
Kenny Wallace and Bobby Labonte. One hasn't let the other get out of sight all season. That's why this points chase will likely go down to the last race of the Busch Grand National season. Two young drivers, similar in many ways, but totally different in others. They come from championship families. Kenny's big brother Rusty, a Winston Cup champ in '89. And Bobby looks up to the '84 champion, Terry.
I think we both know where we're both coming from. So we pretty well don't talk very much, but we just kind of look at each other and eye each other up, you know, and like, yeah, you know, I'm going to whip your butt this week, you know.
You know, it takes a lot of patience to run for a championship because you can't just go out there and stick your noses in places that don't belong.
One thing that me and Rusty got in common is that we try not to crash a lot. You know, I mean, it's pretty important to take care of your equipment. You know, one big thing I was taught when we first started racing is to win or to win championships is you must first finish to finish first.
Go-karts is how Kenny relaxes. Give him 4 tires and an engine, he'll race it. He and his wife, Kim, have 3 little girls.
When you come home and there the kids are just, you know, daddy, 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 you know. It's kind of, it brings you for a couple minutes, you just don't think nothing about it, so that's pretty good.
You're always a winner with them, regardless.
Always, yeah.
Bobby's a newlywed, married to Donna for just 6 months.
It's great. When's supper going to be ready? No, it's my wife Donna and I, we've been happily married for 6 months now, and it's a lot of fun.
And I'm so close to maybe winning a championship, and it's important on a level where, you know, my first year when I go Winston Cup, that I can say, hey, you know, I won the Busch Grand National Championship in '91.
Well, then there's a lot of guys that never did win it that went on and raced Winston Cup and, you know, never looked back and run good today. So it just definitely would look good on paper, though.
But you won it very badly.
Oh, we definitely won it.
Wil Hampton for Race Week 91.
You know, when you look at Winston Cup teams, I guess it's natural to assume the car is the most expensive thing out there, right?
Wrong.
Huh?
The trucks that haul the car around, that's the most expensive thing. A race car with an engine, Jim, is worth about $75,000. The truck and trailer that transports that car, worth upwards of $300,000. And here's why. This is the headquarters for Kyle Petty's team. We see the truck behind the race car. This truck and trailer, once again, is worth about $300,000.
Okay, this is some of the oil line fittings and stuff that we use on the car. We have basically anything that we need if we have trouble with the car. We'll go up here into the lounge area. Got a bathroom here. Here's Kyle and Felix and Jane and Mark up here carrying on a conversation. This is where we sort of kick back and relax and tell jokes and talk about race cars sometime.
When we're not talking about race cars, we have mirrors on the ceiling.
Yeah.
That's the most unusual feature about this, right?
We got TV, VCR, tape deck, stereo, telephone, scanner, refrigerator with plenty of Mellow Yellow in there. Here is our little food area. We've got, we're on a health kick deal now. We're eating all the right things that are good for your body, like, well, what we got here? Nacho cheese, mini rice cakes, honey nut rice cakes, pretzels. All this stuff is good for you. So if you want to live to be healthy, eat this stuff. It's good for you. But it's just like being at home. You got your silverware, bubble gum, more. Another built-in refrigerator. This is the one I like. Got our own deep freeze.
Yeah, he learned about keeping food in that truck because he used to help Benny back in the early 70s. I mean, Richard's no dummy. Well, we'll be right back with more from the Charlotte Motor Speedway Live after this.
Perfect.
Roddenberries. Pickles are for smiles.
They call it the pickle car. Steve Grissom's number 31 Roddenberry's Racer. Catch it this weekend in the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 in Charlotte. Roddenberry's Racing is for 300 miles of smiles.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Ta-dum.
Roddenberries. Peanut butter is for smiles.
Midas is coming at you with values by the truckload, announcing the biggest news to come down the road in a long time. It's Midas-ized days, and right now you can find great values on our basic brake service, featuring quality, high-tech, non-asbestos pads or shoes guaranteed. That's right, brakes installed and guaranteed. Take advantage of our value and quality, and these Midas-ized days before they quietly disappear. Nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
These are the machines of the 90s.
Fuel injection, overhead cams, polyvalve.
Today's high-tech engines demand high-tech protection. Kendall Motor Oil is specifically designed to provide the ultimate protection against heat and wear under the most extreme conditions. Don't take a chance with your high-tech engine. Use Kendall Motor Oil, formulated to protect your high-tech engine. Kendall Motor Oil, pour in the protection. Kendall, available at these locations.
Char Gilcher of Bemidji, Minnesota, does her part to check inflation.
It's the food Americans hate most.
Fish. Yeah, everybody loves fish. Frog legs. No, I know. What is tofu?
Jeopardy! It's as much fun as you think.
Weeknights at 7 on TV 36, Cable 6. Autumn is here, and you're invited to a Harvest of the Arts at Rock Hill Jubilee, sponsored by WCNC-TV 36. It's a weekend of musicians and artists, food and fun for everyone at Rock Hill Jubilee, October 5th and 6th.
Welcome back live to the Speedway. It's been great, Benny. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, 11:30?
We got to go, yeah, before they lock us in the Speedway. And before we leave you, a salute to Fords. If you're a Ford fan, wow, get ready for goosebumps. Turn on your VCR. A little music video. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Hey, this T-bird's gonna fly.
All the way around the racetrack. I whistled.
It was looking good from tail to hood. Great big fins and painted steel. Man, it looked just like the Batmobile with my old man behind the wheel. Well, you could hardly even see him in all of that chrome. The man with the plan and the pocket comb. But every night it carried him home. And I could hear him saying, don't you give me no Buick. Son, you must take my word. If there's a God in heaven, he's got a silver Thunderbird. You can keep your Eldorados and the foreign cars absurd. Me, I wanna go down in a silver Thunderbird. Got up every morning while I was still asleep. But I remember the sound of him shuffling.
Race Week 91, brought to you by Kendall Motor Oil, Midas, Saturn, Roddenberry Pickles, and Kanawha Insurance.
Where do you find all this? If you said the Bahamas, you're not only right, you're close.
Contact your travel agent or U.S. Air for a Fun Jet Bahamas vacation.
Touchstone Pictures presents Goldie Hawn in a performance critics are calling compelling. She's worth her weight in gold, raves Joel Siegel.
Oh my gosh! There's no place left to go now.
Deceived will have you grabbing your seat in fear.
Somebody help me!
This is the classiest thriller in years. If you like Hitchcock, you'll love Deceived. Deceived. Rated PG-13. Now playing at a theater near you.
Don't you love this time of year?
Take a look, take a new look.
The leaves, the temperature, the clothes. The styles and quality at Walmart this year are great.
Take a look, take a new look.
At Walmart, we've taken a new look at quality. Quality you can feel and afford.
Take a look, take a new look, take a new look.
Fall is in the air. Kids are back in school. Got some great new clothes without taking out a loan. Life is good.
'Cause we took a new look at you.
There are lots of ways of getting clothes dirty. The reason they stay dirty is you. Oils from your body work like glue to lock dirt onto fibers, making your clothes yellow and dingy. New Whisk Power Scoop changes that. Look, the unique organic cleaning system in Whisk actually unlocks the oil to release dirt you could never get out before. To get everything really clean, not yellow or dingy. And Whisk does it all without bleach. New Whisk Power Scoop. Change what you mean by clean.
Domino's just what you're into. Domino's just where you're at.
Have to check and make sure that that baby wasn't accidentally dropped before they file any charges.
Police say the child was injured shortly after midnight.
I told them we'd have to pick all the berries in Maine to get that many. Now, I know putting all them blueberries in a muffin will make a lot of blueberry lovers real happy, but it's making some of the ones around here darn ornery. Okay, but just one more.
Martha White double blueberry muffins. Double the real blueberries makes them twice as good.
There's a weekend of fun at the Rock Hill Jubilee, October 5th and 6th.
This is a News 36 Sports special presentation.